United Church Funds recently hosted its Midwest Regional Endowment Conference at Chicago Theological Seminary on the University of Chicago campus. Designed for church leaders and members interested in creating or strengthening their endowments, the day-long forum focused on such topics as planned giving, fundraising for endowments, essential endowment policy, and socially responsible investing. It also provided participants with an opportunity to network with other church leaders, along with investment and endowment professionals who share their values.
In the business world, as stewards and managers of the assets of our churches, our job is not to preserve capital but to grow it. This means investing in new procedures, new products, new markets, and new people.
I think there's a connection between what the United Church Funds does and what all of you do. They're all operating at the intersection of faith and finance. That's a unique calling, and I'm here to say that the outlook for being able to combine these things, I don't think has ever been greater.
I think endowments should really take a long-term view, and I think they really need to understand what the appropriate risk is for their portfolios as we navigate through what is probably going to be a slow growth environment, and probably even with the Fed beginning to raise rates. So making sure they remain long-term focused and making sure they're taking on appropriate risk in their portfolio is key.
The United Church Funds does offer our investors an array of opportunities to expand your ability to effectively govern the endowment that you have. The most important piece is to prepare the investment policy statement, to have a clear and concise investment policy statement that can be followed and implemented over time. Once you get the endowment policy set and it's clear and it's concise, that is a document that can then be communicated to potential planned givers, people who are thinking about leaving a planned gift to the church. This is an excellent document, while in some ways complex, to be able to explain the rules of the road by which the church and the donor can work together. That is very important. And so once you get that document in place, we work with a number of churches and are in the process now of working with a number of churches to be able to develop a strategy to get the word out, to be able to market the fact that you have an endowment, that it's going to be managed appropriately, and that it's okay to think about giving a gift to that over time.
We always talk about the reality that our earthly treasure is in our custodianship, that we are to be good stewards of that. We're not owners of it. So engaging people in the ministry of estate planning and planned giving is something that I believe we're called to do. This current generation that's going into retirement is an extraordinarily generous generation. The reality is, as much as we love young people, extraordinarily generous people have historically been older people who have the resources and are interested in legacy, creating a legacy through those resources. And so we have an opportunity to strengthen the institutional health, financial health, strengthen the financial health of our institutions through engaging that group of people around this.
So I think part of what we all have to figure out here today is, where is our faith? What does it lead us to say about our fiduciary role? We need for us to be thinking about our money as a ministry, as a faith expression. This is how United Church Funds does it. We are executing on the basics. We consider the baseline to be our exclusionary screening practices: tobacco, gambling, alcohol, etc. That is what people really talk about all the time, but it is such a small part of being a faith fiduciary as it relates to United Church Funds. The real work comes in slogging with corporations around environmental, social, and governance policies and practices, trying to make these companies better. And we realize that we're lifting all boats. We're not only making it better for us as investors, we're making it better for all investors if a company is better positioned for the long term. That's okay with us.
We are diversifying because valuation ultimately matters. We are focusing on the longer term opportunity. We scrutinize our managers, and then we must add value in terms of staff, in terms of the decisions that we're making. This is a unique sort of program of integrating your investments with your faith and finance in ways also connected to your fiduciary responsibility.
I'm a member of Covenant United Church of Christ in South Holland, Illinois, and what I expected today when I came in was to really learn more about the technical aspects of endowment, of fundraising, and while I have some training and experience in that, it was important for me to understand about the sustainability of the church. The church is not just the building, that it is the people, and wherever we go, we're able to ensure that long after we are no longer here, the legacy that we've built, the wealth strategies that we develop, and the asking for members of our congregations to invest in our church and our communities. It has been very beneficial to connect with others who are like-minded, to talk about investment strategies, ESG or environmental, social, and governance investing. So nothing was left on the table.
There were a couple of things that I was looking for. I'm part of our trust or our investment committee. And so I wanted to have a better understanding of United Church Funds, how it operates, how our funds are invested, how we meet our social responsibility goals. So that was one major thing. We also had a section today on an endowment, which I thought was very helpful. And I was glad to learn that there's materials that we can get to help strengthen our endowment program, particularly how we structure things.
I hope you have all heard today how United Church Funds works on behalf of the United Church of Christ to challenge corporations where the values of the UCC are not reflected. Our work in collaboration with our partners is essential to what we do. And we do all of this as we also provide very sound investment practices, but we desire to work with many, many more churches and other faith-based organizations, because as we pool together our financial resources, we can accomplish much more than we can if we each try to do it individually and in isolation.